Estamos aqui diretamente de Rio das Ostras para o KazaGastão com essa dupla fantástica, as irmãs Lovell, Rebecca and Megan. Welcome to Brazil. First time in Brazil. How does it feel to be here?
Oh, it's wonderful. I mean, the audiences, the weather, I mean, the location. What's not to love?
It's great to have you too, and we expect you to do a longer tour next time, but it's great that you came to this.
We do too. We expect to do a longer one next time as well.
Excellent. Well, just to start back to the beginning, you started as an acoustic trio, and then you became like this electrified duo. How was this transition happen?
It was a special transition to have made. We grew up playing a lot of bluegrass music as children. So I think learning how to transition from playing acoustic instruments to standing in front of amplifiers was a little bit awkward, a little bit of a challenge, even just because it's so much louder to have a pedal board and a 50, 100 watt amplifier behind you. But it always felt very natural to us because we grew up playing, a lot of music that was informed by traditional American music. So listening to the Allman Brothers, listening to a lot of blues records, that sound was always in our heads. So it just took some time to figure out how to carve out our path to creating what we like to consider sort of an Americana, bluesy, country, gospel sound that is the Larkin Poe sound.
And being originally from Georgia and living in Nashville now, how does this influence your music?
We're hugely influenced by the music of the Southern United States. I mean, from like Delta blues to bluegrass. We grew up at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. So there's a lot of mountain music and bluegrass. And we went to a lot of like pickin' parties, people just getting together on their front porch and jamming. That was a really cool part of our childhood, to be able to kind of learn the language of music in that way, improvisation and also learning the old standards. So definitely having access to events like that shaped our childhood.
And since you guys started, you played with amazing artists, with iconic artists, from Elvis Costello, Steven Tyler. You recorded last album, Ringo Starr, a couple of songs. What can you share about like some backstage stories or anything that happens with this? Any memorable stories from these experiences?
I think most recently, because of the Ringo Starr connection, we never, ever in a million years would have imagined that we would get to make music with a Beatle. And to be on stage with a Beatle, it was just such an incredible experience. And the thing that really struck me the most about really everyone that you mentioned is this childlike enthusiasm that still exists for music. Elvis Costello is still so passionate. Steven Tyler is so passionate. Ringo, in his 80s, so passionate about getting behind the kit and just playing drums. And being able to be on stage with him at the Mother Church in Nashville, it just felt like we were a bunch of buddies on stage playing music. It wasn't like there was any ego. It didn't feel strange at all in the moment. So in that respect, it's a very special experience to be able to connect with people through music.
And you played some iconic stages as well. You played all these, legendary venues and, Grand Ole Opry or all these places. How does it feel like? Have you ever imagined you'll be, playing on those stages?
I mean, you have your bucket list of venues, and then it's very special to be able to cross them off the list. We got to play like Red Rocks last year with Sheryl Crow. That was like a huge bucket list. I mean, not only to play with Sheryl Crow, but then to play at Red Rocks, which is just a very special, hallowed ground kind of a venue.
Amazing.
And of course, doing our first headline show at the Ryman in Nashville, Tennessee. It feels very life affirming.
Amazing. There's a Brazilian guy that does the sound, the PA for Sheryl Crow. Really? It's a Brazilian guy called Alberto. I met him when I was in Nashville. It's really
cool.
Nice. Yeah. Anyway, you're also part of Playing for Change, which is an amazing project by a friend of mine, Mark Johnson. How was that like? How did you?
It was awesome.
So many great artists that participated of that.
Yeah,
it was so cool. It was very last minute, very spontaneous that we got asked to be a part of that video for Robbie Robertson, and it was very special. And I just feel at this point in our career very blessed to still be able to have experiences that shake you up, that you don't anticipate the things that are coming down the pipeline. So here we are in our mid-30s, having been playing music professionally now for 20, 25 years, and you got to be prepared to get shook up a little bit. And I appreciate that so much.
That's great. And how about the Grammy? You're nominated you won a Grammy and you've been nominated a couple times.
Yeah.
Right? And what is it better, to be nominated or to win? Do you remember when you found out you're nominated?
Yeah.
It's a gift to be able to be nominated. It's pretty special to win, though. I mean, we all like to win. But honestly, it's just to be able to be in the room with some of these incredible artists. We're really grateful for the experience of winning a Grammy. It's incredibly surreal to walk up on that stage and give an acceptance speech.
But
it was really wild.
This year, though, Bloom was nominated in the Americana category, and I think that because we're able to say that we are Grammy winners, there wasn't any pressure.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of had more fun being able to like hang out and not have to do any of the rigmarole that comes with winning a Grammy. We had a great time.
Yeah.
And you, Megan, you had to change the name of an instrument. It used to be lap steel. Now it's not lap anymore.
It needs to be standing steel.
Yeah. So who inspired you to just the energy of the music that made you stand up? Or
Absolutely.
What?
You know, I grew up playing a lot of dobro. So Jerry Douglas was my huge inspiration growing up. And then when we decided we wanted to plug in, it was just very natural for me to switch over to the lap steel. And I did sit for a couple shows, but it only lasted a couple shows. I was like, I cannot be sitting on this stage. I need to run around. So I figured out a way. I built a little holder to be able to stand and play. It's not very common to run into lap steel players to begin with, and not a whole lot of people stand and play, but I've got to get up.
And what are the advantages? Everybody must ask you that. The advantages and disadvantages of being siblings and playing together.
I feel like it's mostly advantage.
Yeah.
We have hard moments, clearly. As sisters, we know each other very, very well. And that's what makes it so special, is we are able to catch on a brainwave together and be on stage. And we take it for granted sometimes, you know, when you're on stage with a bunch of other musicians, this bond that we share, that we really can go special places together musically. And we wouldn't be doing this but for each other. There would be no Larkin Poe if she wasn't in it or I wasn't in it. So we've gotten to have a very unique life experience together through our bond as sisters.
And how about having your own label? What made you start your own label, and how do you get away from, you know, all the trends and music industry? And I don't know, you're still authentic and genuine, even with this crazy industry that makes you like try to follow trends. How do you keep your authenticity?
Rebecca and I, we can't be anything other than what we are. What you see is what you get. And in 2017, we kind of realized that this was a part of ourselves that we really wanted to hold dear. And one way of doing that was to take the reins fully into our own hands. So we started our record label so that we could hold all the control over what gets released and how it gets released, and to be able to kind of shoulder all of the load of making those decisions. And it was really, really good for us. I mean, I think it's a lot of pressure, but it was really, really good pressure. It made us figure out a lot of things pretty quickly. And just so I'm pleased that we made the decision. It was great.
That's great. And just to finish off, 2 more questions. Do you remember the first album you ever bought?
Yes. With my own money, I bought Bela Fleck, Little Worlds.
And you, Megan?
It was definitely a Jerry Douglas record. I'm pretty sure it was Slide Rule.
How about the first concert you ever been to?
I feel
Luckily, we went to a lot of concerts before we have memories. Our parents were, they were huge music lovers, so they were always taking us. So I can't even remember the first concert we went to because we were babies.
That's true. But the first one that I'll be curious to know if you also think, was it Red Hot Chili Peppers?
That was the first rock and roll concert.
That was the first rock and roll concert that we bought tickets to and went out and had a road trip as sisters and went to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I have to say this, and I might sound like an old man, but your parents must be really, really proud of you.
Oh, no. I think they are. I think that they are.
You think they are? Or
I think that they are.
They must
think
cry.
They're
I will
very,
be crying.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say. I think our parents have had a lot of faith in us. I can only imagine how scary it would be as a parent to have your child tell you, we're starting a band. We're going out on the road, especially two young girls. We were very young when we started this whole journey. And they had a lot of trust and a lot of faith in allowing us to make the mistakes that we needed to make and, you know, eat the ramen noodles and live in not the best places. And I think that they are very proud of our tenacity. They really are.
Fantastic. Wow. I have to thank you so much for the music. You've been such an inspiration for thousands and thousands of girls and young people everywhere. Or,
Thank you.
You know, thank you for the music. It's not easy to, you know, you're so talented and it's great to see you have you in Brazil. I hope you'll come back many, many times.
We can't wait.
Us too.
Yeah. Larkin Poe, listen to the music. That's all I can say. See you.
Bye.